We're live. I think we're live. Hello. Can anybody hear me? No, nice. Okay, everything will begin shortly. Thank you for coming. And let's begin. Hello everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm happy that you could make it. I don't see any point to waiting for another 4 minutes to make it up to 6 p.m. So I think we can start. Welcome to my stream, to my art stream. We're gonna be practicing together, or at least I'll be practicing. You can join along, or you can do whatever else you want to. I'm gonna use Photoshop. I've got the latest version, and we will go through some different types of practice today, and we'll also have a little bit of a project, but that's after 1 hour. I thought about making this a 2-hour stream. 1 hour is just for practice, and the second hour is for the little project I'll be telling you more about later. At the first part of the stream, in the first hour, we'll do some basic warm-up exercises for the hand, for the shoulder, and I'm gonna tell you what to do not to hurt your wrist while you're drawing. And afterwards, we'll have a more complex exercise, let's say, that has something to do with the form of the head. And I'm not saying the shape of the head, I'm talking about the form, the 3D form, because I want to better understand forms in general, forms of objects, of people, of parts of the body. And so I think we can begin with the head. I have some examples prepared with you for you, and so we'll go through those when we get there. But for now, I think we can begin with the regular practice. If you can see my screen over here, I've prepared some basic folders for you. First of all, I want to go through some simple line drawings. To warm up our hands, I'd like you to, if you want to join along, you can do as well on paper or on anything else, any digital drawing device you're using. And what I want you to do is go with some horizontal, vertical, and diagonal lines. And we'll try to do those in all directions. We'll start from left to right, then we'll go from up to down, and so on and so forth. The thing is that I want you to remember while doing those exercises is I want you to use the whole hand, you know, from the shoulder up until the hand. Just place it steadily on the paper or on whatever device you're using, and keep it steady. Don't move the wrist too much, because you're gonna get injured, and you'll have a very hard time to get to the result that you want, especially drawing straight lines. You know, it's a pain in the yes, I'm not sure if I can swear on this stream being the first one, but yeah, it's a pain to use your wrist too much and afterwards not being able to, I don't know, type and use the phone and all that stuff just because you tried to do this movement, this curve, you know, using the wrist. And there's not much point in doing that. If you start learning to use the shoulder, to draw from the shoulder, you know, it's gonna be a better time for you, like in general. So if you want to join, let's try together to do some horizontal lines, just like that, from the shoulder, you know. Keep it as steady as possible. What's nice about digital drawing is, you know, you got the canvas. On a paper, you'll see the ends, you know, the end bits of a line. So to make it more realistical, we can go through some, you know, through some lines that are starting on the paper and ending on the paper, because this is why this is how you can see that the lines start very smoothly and then end quite smoothly, and you have this big gap in the middle. It's more width to the line, and that's what I'm trying to focus on. That's what I'm trying to practice, to keep it steady, as if you were to begin somewhere in this part of the page, somewhere in the unknown part, you know, some where nothing exists, and end on the right side where as well nothing exists. And it's a bit difficult to do this while you are still on the page. So starting on the page, you know, and ending. This is a little bit of a better line, I would say. This is very weird, very curved, but I'm failing here along with you. This is a stream where we'll fail together. The point of this stream is to just get used to practice in a regular manner. Do it weekly. That's what I'm gonna try to do. And so, by making the stream, I hope that in the end I'll be more motivated to practice more, to draw more, make more projects. There you go. You can see that my lines tend to go upwards. You see? And this is interesting because while you're practicing, a big part of the practice is noticing what you're doing. Not only practicing blindly, but also try to understand what's happening when you're drawing. You know, those lines, yeah, here in the middle, the lines are better. I can say, yeah, they're a bit more straight, they have a bit more regular weight to them from beginning to the end. But while I go lower, my shoulder gets lowered, and it's becoming a bit more difficult to keep it steady. And so that's why I think my hand tries to compensate and tries to go up a bit. Here I try to control it, and you see, it's a bit wiggly. But now I think we can move on to some lines that are drawn from the right to the left. And that's a bit more challenging, isn't it? Yeah. I can feel the muscles that are fighting against this exercise. They don't want to do it, because it's a bit weird to make a line from the left to the right. We usually, I mean, here in Romania, we write from left to right, not from right to left. And that's why you don't usually get to do something like this, to force your muscles to try and do something that's not natural. But it's important to do it as an exercise, because you never know what you'll have to draw in the future, when you won't have a tablet necessarily, a digital device, when you're on or neither paper that you can turn around and rotate. Let's say you'll have to draw on a wall, I don't know, and you'll have to make a line that's from left to right. And then, yeah, this kind of exercise can help you be more flexible. You're not stuck in just a straight pattern of, yeah, only left to right. No, we can do right to left as well. That's what we're trying to do here. So I'm gonna erase all those layers after I finish with this one. But yeah, for now, simply try to get those lines as straight as possible. Now some of them get curved. Yeah, that's alright. That's okay. And you see, I'm not erasing anything. It's an exercise where you just go to how should I say it? Let's delete those. Yeah, it's an exercise where you just make it, you just draw it, and then you look at the result and you figure out how you can make it a bit better from now on. I think we can move to the up and down kind of lines, the ones that start from the upper part of the page and go to the lower part. And here, if you try with me, you'll see that this feels quite different. And I'm still drawing from the shoulder, remember, drawing with the whole hand, keeping it steady, keeping the wrist steady, and not moving the fingers around. So, this feels different. You see, my hand tends to not understand what is going on. What's happening? Why we have to draw like this? That's what my hand is telling me. It's fighting against me. But I'm doing my best, trying to keep it steady, and just move the shoulder from up to down. Yep. It kind of looks like a zebra pattern, but that doesn't matter. What we're trying to figure out here is, how do our muscles work? How does our hand perceive the movements that we're telling it to do? Because I'm telling my hand, just move from the upper part to the lower one in a straight line. But that's not what my hand is doing. My hand is trying to find a natural way of going downwards. But we're not looking for that. We're trying to teach the muscles to make something straight, which is not necessarily natural. We'll keep going and do one more page. This feels a bit stiffer still. And I want to let you know that I haven't done those exercises in quite a long time. That's why I wanted to start streaming. I wanted to be more disciplined this year. So by making live streams, you're gonna be held accountable. That's what I'm trying here. Trying my best. Making those lines. You see, my lines tend to try and group up in little, I don't know how to call them. It's like, you see when the hair gets wet and all the little parts of the hair come together and make... you get what I'm saying. I'm not very good with words today, but that's not why we're here. We're here to draw. We're not here to talk. You probably noticed now I'm starting to do it from the lower part of the page to the upper part. And this, oh boy, this is way more difficult than the other one. And the other one was quite difficult. So, yeah, thanks. It looks kind of, like I said before, it's either a zebra pattern or it's grass. But we're just exercising here. We're trying to do our best. And what we're trying to do is teach our muscles how we want them to work, how we want them to move. And yeah, as I was saying, haven't drawn in quite a long time, like doing those exercises, which should be done regularly. I don't know if you should do it, all of those, like every time you sit down and draw something, but you should be able to do some sort of warm-up every time in order to get the muscles, especially the muscle memory, get it prepared to do the work for that day. And yeah, this will be another page. Some of them look good, some of them not that much. They look wobbly, but that doesn't matter. We're here to exercise. You see this gap over here? Yeah, that's pretty funny. And now, yep, I think it's good. Yeah, we're deleting all those layers. And now we'll move on to, you're right, Raul. It apparently seems that my hand got used to drawing them from down to the upper part, which is interesting. I didn't notice that until you wrote it down, but yeah, it seems so. Pay attention to what your hand feels like doing, and understand that, you know, some movements are easier to do, some are a bit harder. It's important to exercise with all of them. Yeah, and it does look like a curtain. It surely does. Now moving on to some diagonal exercises. This is a bit more interesting because we're gonna use a bit more of the paper. And I say, in this exercise, you learn to do small lines and also very big ones. And you see, as I'm getting on to doing the longer lines, it becomes harder. It becomes more difficult to keep them straight. If you try to do the shorter ones, in theory, it should be easier. It should be much easier to do those ones. Here, I did something different. I don't know if you noticed, but here, those look a bit fatter. That's because I used my wrist. I got lazy and I said, yeah, just do those 3 like that. But if you use your shoulder, oh, let's go back. If you use your shoulder, yeah, they should look a bit more like the other ones. Yeah, this scroll wheel gets in the way. Let's do a few more of those, because we still have quite a bunch to do. So I'm gonna go through those a bit faster. We don't want to spend a whole day doing lines. You know, those are just for practice, just for warming up. And 15 minutes should be more than enough to warm up. You shouldn't take too long. We don't want to be stuck doing only warm up. Now I'm gonna try to do, we did them like this. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do those from the upper right side of the page to the lower left side. So this feels a bit unnatural as well. The first exercise usually feels the most natural, feels like the right thing to do. But now when you move on to this feels a bit weird. Yep, let's do one of those. Now, one of these, yeah, from the upper left side to the lower right side. Oh, this feels very, very difficult. Oh, yep. My muscles are yelling no. But I'm telling them, I gotta do it. I gotta go through the motion, and in time, you'll get better. You'll see. And that's the best part about drawing, that you see results. In time, if you practice, not necessarily daily, but, you know, twice a week or 3 times a week, you're gonna start seeing differences. I'm not talking just about the warm-up. I'm talking about everything else that's related to drawing. The shapes, the forms, the objects, the references, how to combine everything into little projects. I'm looking at the chat from time to time, that's why I'm glancing over. But I think it's enough for the lines. What I want to do, what else I want to do with you as a warm-up exercise, is doing some circles. And this is quite difficult because I don't want to keep the same shape of circle, you know. I want to do all sorts of circles. but it's quite hard to make it happen, you know, in one go. I don't want to make a circle like this, you know, just go over the lines again and again and again. Try to make it in one motion. You can correct it later on, you know. This circle, the last one I did, yeah, it looks kind of okay, similar to a lemon or something. But yeah, the point is, try to make those round movements. And I'm doing those round movements from the shoulder as well. Nothing happens. Nothing happens from the wrist. Yeah, there's there is a phobia related to holes, seeing many holes. That's why I'm trying to make them big enough so it doesn't trigger anybody. Hope it doesn't. God forbid. That's really serious stuff. But yep, just do a bunch of them. Try to make it automatic, let's say. Yeah, I made a potato there. Look, this is a potato. Yeah. Now it's more of an asteroid. Anyway, try to make it automatic. You know, it's just for the muscles. It's for the muscle memory. You're not thinking when you're drawing those. I'm not spending time and thinking, yeah, I want to make that perfect circle. Because if I'd be spending time thinking, I'd be doing something like this. I want it to be circle. I want it to be circular. I want it. Yeah. You see? That's not how you make a circle. You just leave your hand do the motion. Just let it do the motion. And go round. Doesn't matter if it fails. The important thing is, sometimes it succeeds. And in time, it will get better. It will get more used to doing this motion. That's why we're here. You know, to practice. What we're doing is practicing and also putting our practice to good use. That's why I've prepared for you the project that we'll probably start doing at around 7 p.m. I think that's enough for this kind of practice for now. And I think we can move on to the second practice, exercise number 1 that I've prepared for you. For this exercise, I'm going to show you yeah, I don't think so. It shouldn't, right? Yeah, I'm talking with the chat. Now, coming back to the exercises, I've prepared something for you. Now you can see in the upper part of the stream, and I'm gonna move this a bit so you can see it better. There we are. Now, there. Good. I've prepared some heads. As I told you in the beginning, I want to make use of some exercises that are related to the form of the head, not the shape. We're talking about form. And so I found those images online. I'm gonna bring them here. Let's start with the ones from the left. I'm gonna bring them over here and scale them down a bit. And we're going to analyze the head. And we'll try to see through the head, through the shape. We'll try to see the form. And now let's get some blue, because it goes into a good contrast with what we have here. And now let's try to understand a bit how the head can be broken down in basic forms. You know, we did some of those circles earlier, right? Yep. If you try to figure out more about the shape of the head, we're talking about shape, yeah? What we're seeing here. Yeah, it can be broken down into some sort of oval shape, a circle that's a bit bent down on those sides, and then we have this part that goes like this, where you have the mouth, the nose of the character, and at the intersection of the two you get the eyes. And so let's think about it. Let me clean this up a bit, because I want to explain this to you before doing it myself. I'll explain it to you on one head, and then we'll just go through the motions with the other ones. So I want to tell you that if we get this form, this is a sphere. A circle in 3D is a sphere. So if we want to start from a sphere, we can imagine how one side of it will represent the middle part of the face. And we can follow that line that goes all around the sphere, the diameter of the sphere. We can follow it and create, by using that line, create the front part of the face. So if we close the image, and we think about it, we have this head, right? That is a bit turned to one side, and if you follow the line in the middle, the median line, let's say, you can create a nose. You can think where the eyes are. One eye should be positioned over here, and one is obstructed. It's somewhere behind there. And also, if you think about it, the line goes around and then it goes somewhere in the back, but we don't see this. That's why I did it like this, dotted line. And then you'll have a ear on one side, and on the other side, imagine that there's a line that connects one part of the sphere to the other. On the other side, you'll probably have the other ear somewhere. Not sure if it's there, but you understand what I'm talking about, right? So, yep. If you think about it, the general shape of the head, the general form of the head should be this, even though the shape is like this and it follows everything. Now let's open it back, clean up the mess, and try to be a bit more detailed, let's say, in analyzing how this head looks. So if we go around following the contour of the shape, we can figure out that the form probably will be something like this. Here you can see, right, we got the neck that connects somewhere, I would think somewhere here, okay? And other than that, the middle line, it's almost exactly perpendicular to the view, because when you take a photo of someone from the profile, you will not see this part, you will not see anything that's from the left side if you take the photo from the right side. But here it's a very, very slight turn, and so you get to see a bit of the eyelashes. But other than that, I think we can consider this to be more or less a profile. So we can simply imagine that the line goes straight. We don't have anything left on the other side. So you can create then the nose shape that we usually tend to simplify as a triangular shape, a little pyramid. If you create the pyramid, then it's quite simple to imagine the pyramid in 3D. If you think about the nose and you have the pyramid, we can say it's something like this, and you got the nostrils. That's a basic the basic form that stays that creates the nose. Now for the lips, again, How can we simplify this? I think the chin is usually another little sphere, you know, a small sphere. And the lips, there's a bit more detail there. I won't go into detail right now. We'll just simplify them as, let's say, petals, you know, that are connected to the nose. But you can also break apart the lips into some spheres as well. But we'll talk about this some other time, most likely. And then afterwards, you can connect the chin, you can connect it with the ear. Now, if you look at this, right, the line that I drew here and this connection, you can think about it like another triangle, right? But it's a triangle that has an angle that's a bit less than 90 degrees, you know? It's maybe a 75 or an 80. It depends. If you go more to the 90 degrees angle, you're thinking about more of a masculine face. Like, imagine having the sphere, right? And then you got it like this, okay? Or, you know, similar to this, and then it goes up, because you'll never have the ear here, but it goes up and you have the ear here, and you got the nose and the eyes. This is way more masculine, and it shows. But if we go, right, and we cut through the bone, I should, this is a parenthesis, but I should rehearse the name of the bones in English, because I'm not used to them, but I'll make sure to do that for the next time. But if you cut through all the way to the ear, you'll see that the angle is smaller, and so the face will become a bit more feminine. That's a general rule, you know, that you can use when you're creating a character from scratch. Now, something different that we can see while looking at the head is the ear, usually the lower part of the ear. Let me clean up here a bit so you can see clearly. The lower part of the ear is connected to the beginning of the nose when you look at it. And we can clearly see, yeah, the jawbone, jawbone. Thank you. Exactly. You can clearly see here that because the woman is photographed with a slight inclination of the head, it's mostly straight, you know, we can see that the line goes straight from the lower part of the ear to the lower part of the nose, and the upper tip of the ear usually can be connected with the brows, the eyebrows. Yes, it's not necessarily a rule written in stone, because people, you know, are different. They look different. You won't find many people who I don't know, who follow those rules exactly the same time, you know. But as a general advice, you can do this, and then you can play around. You can make the ear a bit bigger if you want to make the character look different, you know, look a bit odd. But those shapes are what usually indicate balance, you know. That's a point where you can start from, and then you can modify those along the line. But just as a general rule, you can follow those and you'll be good. Now the eyes as well, we can simplify them as spheres that are placed in a socket. And imagine the eye, you know, being the whole sphere, because that's exactly what it is. It's a sphere that's placed in the socket. Yeah, if you have the whole sphere like that, you will notice that usually what's left, what we can see of the eye, is just a part, just about a quarter of the eye is visible. if you open your eyes largely, then you can maybe see 60% or something of the eye. But just a general rule, you can start with a sphere and then do this sort of shape, another angle, and clean up the rest, and you're left with the shape of the eye. And then you can add the other parts, you know, the eyelashes and everything else. Okay, now the connection with the neck here is done again by some skin, by the thyroid gland that some people know of, and we won't go into too much detail on the lower part because I didn't get to study it yet. So what I studied was the head, but we'll study together, most likely, the connection to the other bones. But for now, I think it's enough analysis on this head. We can move on to the other ones. We still have half an hour to go through those. And you can see, right, when I close the drawing, this is some sort of sketch that you can base your drawing upon. You can start with something like this, and then you add the hair, you know. That's a different shape that I won't go into detail today, but it's something different. The hair can also be split up into different forms that together create a shape, depending on where you look from. But apart from that, I think you get the point. You get the deal with this kind of exercise and why it's important to study some of those heads. Now, let's make this a bit smaller so you can see. I didn't look at the stream, but I guess you can see it nicely. Yeah, make it like this so it's a bit clearer for all of you. Okay, this is a different one because here we have definitely it's not a portrait from one side. Okay, you can see that if we try to do the sphere, okay, that will be something like this. The median line, it's probably somewhere there, because we can only see a little bit of the nose, but not that much. And so if it goes like that, here in the back, it's probably there, right? The interesting thing is that if we clean up here a bit, we can see that it's connected to, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's connected to the spine. So even though the spine is straight and the photo is shot from right from the back of the person, because the head is inclined, you can see here some shadows, right? Here is some light, here is some different shadow. Okay, if I clean up, yeah, you see, because the head is tilted to one side. So everything that our body does, every movement can be seen through shadows, through the forms, the shapes that we are creating. And that's useful to point out, that's useful to take into consideration, because it becomes more realistical when you're drawing, thinking about all those aspects. And so the spine, you can see, is connected somewhere here. I mean, in truth, it's connected somewhere inside, not over here at the exterior, but the movement can be seen here as well. And so we can think about it like, let's create that that triangular shape that was the jawbone, right? Let's create it. And here, this line, the line in the middle, the medial line, should be dotted as well, because we're not seeing it, right? As you can see in the upper part, we cannot see it. And now we are trying to connect this side to the ear. But because we're talking about a more masculine figure, we're connecting using a bigger angle, right? Not 60 degree or 70 or whatever was the image before. we're using something more to a 90-degree angle here. And then after it goes straight, when you get to the ear, you connect it directly. And you can definitely see, and I will turn off the picture after we draw the basic shapes and basic forms here. You'll definitely see that it's more masculine. So again, yeah, we have the ear, and here is the nose. Here is something interesting, okay, that we'll talk about. We can see the nose is connected at a slightly different angle, okay? What does that mean? That means simply that the head is tilted upwards, okay? The character, the person here, he doesn't look horizontally into a camera or something. The head is tilted a bit upwards, and you can see this in the connection with the ear and the nose. And also, if we connect the same line, okay, the same angle, we are going to connect with the eyebrows, just like before. More or less, of course, it's not a rule set in stone, as I said. Now, making a bit of space here for the eye so that we can look at it, I can zoom in a bit. Again, imagine the sphere, okay? Let's go through with that. Imagine the sphere that's behind everything. And if you think about it, the skin, right, that creates this angle that lets a bit of the eye see outside, right? This part is less visible when the head is turned around, okay? And it becomes even less and less and less visible as it would turn away from the camera. And so now we are left with just a little bit of the eye, but just enough so that we can notice it, okay? If the head was tilted a bit more, we would probably have nothing here, you know? It would be just like that, you know, the bone here of the cranium, and the eye would be somewhere behind. We won't be able to see that one. Okay, but now leaving this here, yeah, simple shape. I didn't talk about proportions yet, but I'm not sure if we should talk today or some other time. Now I'm talking about some general shapes, trying to understand them, and also the proportions. I have to rehearse them. So yeah, let's continue with the other heads. Go through with the shapes. Oh, something different? Yeah, we can also figure out where the other ear is. If you follow the line and think about the distance, yeah, I think it should be somewhere here. I think, yeah, a bit lower, I guess. Yeah, I think it's something relative to that, because if you think the nose would be connected here, the other eye would be like one is here, another one would be somewhere around there, and so the ear, maybe it's a bit upper, like that. But this is just for our imagination. This is an exercise to help us imagine, you know, the form of the head. Because when you're drawing, if you think about those details, it will be easier to create something more realistically. Now let's move on to just another one, another head, because we're getting close to 7 p.m. and I cannot wait to begin with the exercise that I've prepared for you and for me, of course. It's mostly for me. If you want to join, I would be more than happy to have you draw something that I thought about, some design, but you can do whatever you want. Now let's return to this head. Again, the hair obstructs the part in the back. So this is a bit more interesting. You can see it's tilted to one side, right? And yeah, definitely it's not from straight ahead, straight from the front. So let's think about it, right? Try to make this shape, but Yeah, I think it would be something like this, because you have to think that, you know, there's some hair left on the outside, because hair tends to grow. It's not connected to the head directly, because that would be just a texture. Nope, it's not a texture. Head is 3D. Okay, so let's leave the sphere like this. Maybe clean up a bit, but yeah. For the exercise purpose, that's good. And our sphere, yeah, is connected with the neck. But what I'm more interested in is seeing again the shape of the jawbone and how we can recreate it. Now we're not talking anymore about seeing it from the side, seeing just a triangle, triangle or a pyramid or something like that. No, this is a bit different, because we have a shape that's more like a trapezoid, right? You see? Yeah, if we look from the front, we can imagine this being a trapezoid that's connected with the jawbone to the part that's on the back. And as we see a more feminine shape, yeah, we have an angle that's less than 90 degrees. Not this one, but I'm talking about this one. Yeah, it's a bit less than 90 degrees. Of course, this is a bit difficult to imagine when you're looking in this perspective. That's more useful when you take a photo from the side. But yeah, what I wanted to tell you, and for me to understand better, is this kind of trapezoid shape that continues with the jawbone, because it's easier to recreate it when you think about it like that. Now, this trapezoid shape doesn't have to be trapezoid. It doesn't have to have those angles. You can simply make curves. Yeah? Change the trapezoid into some curves by removing those points. And so, by connecting it with the jawbone, it looks more natural. Okay? It's a bit more rounded over here. It's nicer. Now let's think again about the jawbone as a sphere. Yeah, it is a sphere if you touch it over here, like the leaving apart the bone part. You have the skin that usually takes the shape of a sphere. Sometimes, in some people, it takes the shape of two spheres. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But other than that, yeah, we have this shape. The median side again of the cranium goes through here, and we can see it's really nice how our body is shaped, let's say. There are some rules that we can easily follow, and so we can create afterwards something that makes sense. Yeah, and if you think about it, yeah, the spine will go somewhere here, right? Or maybe somewhere to the left. But in general, yeah, we can see some general shapes. Now moving on to the eyes. Here you can see the shape of the eye a bit better, right? Because you can see it is connected, right, like here and here. So nothing goes into that that place where the eye, into the eye hole. I don't know what's it called, but yeah, you can see where it's connected. You can see that we can create a spherical shape here, right? And also over here. I wanted to say that my pen is not listening to me anymore, but it did. It listened. Now we want to add like the you know what I'm talking about, the lashes, you know, I need to grab that dictionary, you know, to get my English straight. But again, if we looked from one side, we used to see something like this. Now if we look from the front, we see something more like this. Okay? It's two curves that are connected at the edges. That's how we can simplify this part of the head. And also, you know, you got the brows. Okay, she's doing something with the brows here, okay? It's not like she keeps them straight, but we can imagine that the brows would end at certainly the same point. And because the head is tilted a bit upwards, right? We can still connect, let me clear up so you can see. Yeah, we can connect the upper tip of the ear to the brows, and the lower tip, which is somewhere here I think, to the lower part of the nose. Again, more or less. I think it would go somewhere there if she wasn't doing this thing with her eyes. But yeah, this is the shape in general of this head. And also the connection here. Here you can see the skin. Yeah, you can see it pretty well. This is not skin actually. This is one of the muscle that are connected to the bottom of the ear. We have those two muscles. Here is the thyroid gland. And that's the very little anatomy that I know. But I think what will be better is if we grabbed together during a stream an anatomy book. I have a bunch of those that I got my hands onto, and we can look through how this should look on a skeleton, you know. Then you add the muscles on top and everything, so the anatomy would make sense. Okay, and now that we've done this head, let's look at it. Yeah, I forgot the nose. Yeah. Okay, it's important. It's important. Keep in mind, everybody has a nose. And also the lips. I wanted to tell you something about the lips because here we can notice them better. And here you can somehow simplify the nose as that pyramid I was talking to you about. You know, a four-sided pyramid. And adding the nostrils, right? You see? The shape, the general shape. Simplify so that later on we can start from the simple shapes and we can add details. Now for the lips, what I wanted to tell you is that we can usually simplify them by creating 3 spheres. Okay? Because the shape, not spheres, circles. Because we're talking here about shapes for 1 minute. The lips don't have necessarily the same volume as a sphere. You know, here you have a bit of that, a bit of volume, but you don't have that much volume as you would have on a sphere. It's more like something like this, okay, the upper lip. The lower lip, on the other hand, yeah, that's more like a sphere, okay? And that's what we can do to simplify and to more naturally create the lips further on. We can simply make those, right? And they will follow this shape and connect the spheres that we've drawn, the circles. I'm confusing the two. Just connect them with the tip of the mouth. We can decide where the tip of the mouth is, but more or less it's on the same side as the side of the nose, you know. If you think about it, here is where the mouth would go. You can check it out with your own nose, you know. If you try to draw a line, an imaginary line between the sides of your nose and the sides of your lips, it would most likely be a continuation of the side of the nose. Okay, now moving on. think I've understood something a bit more in detail about this. Now I'm talking about stuff that I've read before, I've listened to other people talk about. Those are no new observations or something. It's just stuff that I've been through already, but I think it's better to exercise some more, to go into a bit more detail, to practice, so that the information is sedimented. I don't know if that's a word in English, but you'll remember it most likely in the future. Now moving on. Oh, we got only 9 more minutes. Okay, I'll quickly go with the sphere here. Okay, the middle line, right, for the face, and we think about where the one on the back would go. So yeah, the spine is somewhere there, I guess. And for this part, right, we don't do the trapezoid necessarily, we round it. Okay, make it a bit more round, and then connecting to the ear, the 2 lines instead of just one. So let me make my line a little bit thicker, and yeah, instead of having just one like this, we have 2, and you get a more masculine shape. Then the ear. Yeah. Now if we look at it, this is the first time, I think, yeah, it's the first time where we can see the ear leaving the general shape of the head. Okay, it's going outwards, and by seeing that, we can understand that that's how a ear behaves. It's placed on the outside. It should look like this. So we can think about it as if it is connected at some point over here, and the shape, you know, this oval shape, you can turn it around to the side or to one side or another, and yeah, the basic shape would be something like this, and you would see less from behind. You know, if the head would turn to the left, you would see less and less of the ear. It would become smaller and smaller. Now, yeah, let me turn it around and continue by creating the pyramid for the nose, the nostrils, right? Now for the eyes, imagine the spheres that are behind there somewhere. Okay, remember to do everything from the shoulder while drawing those. For one moment I got tired, and I started drawing from the wrist, and that's how you hurt your wrists. It's not something that you'll want to do in the future, especially when you draw a lot. You don't want to hurt your wrists. There we go. And now let's connect the bottom part of the ear with the brows. Now, if I think about it, sometimes I connect it with the upper part of the brow. Sometimes I've connected it with the lower part of the eyebrows. And that's interesting, because it's what I was talking about. The fact that we are different, you know, people are different, and some people have different proportions from others. And so you have to take that into consideration when you're drawing based on references, right? When you're using references, understand that, yeah, there are differences, and afterwards you can play around with them in your own designs. And now when we look at the lips again, we can use the same thing, okay, to create the basic shape. And here, you see, between the 2 circles we leave a little crevasse, and that remains there. It's how the lips are formed. It's how they look like. Yeah, it's connected here and somewhere in the back. You see, uh, maybe that's not ear, but the ear I think would be somewhere around there if we try to look through the head of the person we're looking at. And now for the last head. Yeah, you can look at it. It's a bit strange, but we have one more, so I want to get to do it as well. Okay, so if we shrink it down a bit, and here we try to draw again on top. The head is a bit cut here, so I'm not sure how big it will be, but I will consider that's only hair that's cut. And we're not talking about cutting hair, we're talking about cropping. Okay, now going with the sphere shape I was talking about. There we go, something like that. Okay, more or less. We create that basic sphere. The hair covers the ear, so we can imagine it's somewhere there. And also, we cannot see any ear here, so it's probably behind. The head is tilted to one side, and I think it goes something like that, right? Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting because she has another tilt here. So probably the spine is connected somewhere around there. Because you see, she stands with the shoulders brought together to the front. Yeah. And therefore we can come to the conclusion that the spine is also shaped like that. It's curved. Now moving on. Remember about the trapezoid? Yep, we got the trapezoid over here, the front, and then we connect it to the ear, and it's more or less connected in one straight line. We can see two lines here, maybe, you know, kind of, but it's quite curved, so it still keeps that feminine aspect of the line by having almost a constant curve. Yep, 2 more minutes. Let's go. Speed running it out. Yeah, you cannot see the eye. You can only see it here. So that's the differences I was talking about. You know, when you're designing a character, you will take everything in consideration, even those little facts. And we didn't even start talking about the emotions that we want to send to people through the characters we'll be drawing. So that's a whole different story. And here we can see, you know, the lips. They are a bit more thin, right? You can notice that. The upper lip is a bit more thin. If we turn it down, right? It's different from the other characters that we drew, from the other people that we drew from. But yeah, I think, yeah, the ear is somewhere there, and it's enough for now. It's enough because it's 7 p.m. So I will take a quick bathroom break. I advise you do the same. If you drew along, it's important to take a break from time to time. I recommend you take a break every hour. You lift up from your chair, you move your hand around, you don't let it get stuck into this position, you relax your muscles. And yep, going for a break. It will be a short one, and I will see you soon. we're back. Okay. So this was quite a quick break. You can take a longer break if you want to. It doesn't have to be this short. But I want to make good time of the hour that we have left for tonight. And I'm going to show you what I thought about drawing for today. So let's clean up this. I'll just turn it off. And for today's project, because it's important to do projects from time to time, and I think a project a week is quite good, quite nice. For today's project, I'll be drawing a Mongolian armored caterpillar. There we go. Horrible drawing. So yeah, it will be a caterpillar that will have the armor of Mongolian warriors. I will move this to one side so I can see it better, but in the stream you should be able to see it quite nicely. I'll try to keep the proportions as well. Yep, there you are. Let me make this a bit more clearer for you. Okay, good. And you can see I've gathered some references. And yeah, some caterpillars, some Mongolian armor, some weapons that the Mongolians used. We'll see what will happen. We'll see how it's gonna look like. So yeah, I will try to talk through the process, but I probably will keep it a bit lower now because, you know, everybody can draw anything they want. I'm just telling you that I'm using the brushes that you can find in Photoshop, the general brushes, nothing special. That's what I want to use for those videos, so that everybody can join along and create something without having to find brushes or anything. But you can find many brushes out there, cool ones that you can use. But I think you should be able to draw quite nicely just with the regular brushes. So now let's think about it. How can we make this happen? From all the references, I really like this one because I can imagine the caterpillar, you know, having weapons in all those little arms, all those little hands. But yeah, let's see. I like the pattern on this one, and also this. It's really cool. The orange, it's quite big stripes. Let's begin with a general line of action. Okay, let me think about it. I can imagine this caterpillar being on a branch. You know, it's quite a huge branch because the caterpillar is quite small. But yeah, I can imagine being like this, and our little insect standing somewhere here and having this sort of line of action. Like that. Because the body allows for something like that. So, you know, it uses the lower part of the body to make it stable, and the upper part is used for attacking, you know, for having the weapons ready to battle. Okay, and the little head. If we look at the little head, yep, it's got a little head there. It's quite scary if you zoom in. Yep, it can be a bit scary with those claws and everything. but let's try and get a general shape of this creature, you know. Try to make it as 3D as we possibly can. Yeah. Oh, and here we go. And I can imagine the face being here, having some nasty eyes. Yeah, it's a very nasty caterpillar. It's ready for war. It's got the little hands on one side and one the other, and the weapons, all the weapons at the ready. Yeah, the hands are quite small, maybe a bit bigger, you know, because they have that on the side. And the head, yeah, it's not necessarily like that. This is like someone wearing a costume. It's like wearing a hot dog costume. Now the caterpillar would be more like this if I look at the references, and it's like an add-on, you know. Got this part, then you got the other ones, right? It's just those rings add on to each other to create the caterpillar. It's like a modular thing, you know. You got those modules that keep repeating themselves. The hands should be like somewhere around here. Yep. You think about it. Yeah, the module. Oh, I need to drink some water because it's quite difficult to talk for 1 hour. Didn't expect my voice to hurt a bit, but I guess more practice makes for something a bit more closer to perfection. I should practice talking a bit more. Now, while I'm drawing this design, you know, playing around with the shapes and everything, I'd like to tell you a bit more about the plans that I have for this channel from now on. Apart from the fact that I want to do those live streams on a weekly basis in order to practice more, to be able to have more motivation to start new projects. And we'll see if everything goes well, maybe those videos will help somebody someday. But what I'm thinking about those live streams is that it's just something that you open in the background, you know. You can draw, you can clean your room, you can do whatever. That's why I didn't add any music to it. That's one reason. The second reason is the fact that I'd have to go and grab a lot of license-free music, and I don't really want to go through the effort of doing that just to grab some music that we can listen to while we're doing this. I think it's enough for that anybody can listen to whatever they want on their devices, and you can have this open up in the background as well. You can listen to me talk here, and you can exercise along if you want to. I want to keep it relaxed, you know. There's too much pressure going around, and this is supposed to be something that we do for fun. This is my passion, one of the many that I have, but this one, I think is the one that's the strongest. Is the one that wants to shine the most, so that's why I keep drawing, I keep coming back to drawing. That's why I want to do this for a longer time. And I want to bring people together. And if they want to do it as well, it's even better. We can all do our part in creating something like a community. Having fun together, but at the same time working towards our goals. Yep. So apart from that, apart from the live streams that I will be doing regarding drawing and practicing, I was thinking that maybe from time to time I could do some live streams where I play some games. It's something that I've done in the past, and it was quite nice, quite relaxing. So I don't see why not do it again. It should be pretty straightforward. I have some games that I wanted to play for quite a long time, and never got around to do that. Now I'm trying to figure out how does the caterpillar end, you know? You can see it's not just like that, just straight, you know? It's something like that, I think. Yeah, if I'm correct, if I see it correctly. And this is quite interesting. You see that the little legs that it has on the back, they grow out of the shape of the body. So it's not like something that's add-on with the with the upper part. It's interesting. It's something that grows out of the body directly. So we can think about it like this, you know, something like that. Some armored legs. Now that you think about it, the caterpillar is quite a warrior insect. So you got those tiny legs here. Yep. Yeah, 5 should be plenty of legs to move around. Okay. You got a nasty caterpillar that won't have this face, not necessarily, but it would be more scary. The real face. Let me think about it. Yeah, from what I see, it's more like this. Let's do it like this. Yeah, that's a different shape. That's more interesting. And then you add up on top of the shape, and here you'll have some claws, right? Make the brush a little smaller, and also the eraser. Have the claws here, the nasty claws. Yep. And what about eyes? Should I make eyes on the caterpillar? No. Let's make it without eyes. Let's just add some more teeth to make it look even scarier. There we are. Okay. This looks quite nice. And we can think now of adding the Mongolian armor on top of it. So now I'll change the opacity to something like 40-something%. Okay. And let's think about the warrior armor. And this looks pretty cool. Yep. This is really, really interesting. The ones I really like are those with the red, and you can see the padding going on top of each other. How can we create something like that for our caterpillar? Well, if we think about those little hands, they have to be defended, right? Okay. If you make it like this, and also those, they need to have some shoulder pads here. Okay. So I think we can add the shoulder pads over there. Yeah. And yep, it goes like that. And you see, for the head, we need some big armor that connects and closes the gaps. So if we make it something like this, looking like Emperor Palpatine or something. Let's see. Changing the shapes, playing around. Okay, let's go back to the armor layer, and we need to leave the head open. Even though it doesn't have eyes, you need to see the face, the scary face that's behind this monstrosity. So you get a bit of a visor. Now going back to it. There we have it. This looks even better. I like the shape of this. Really do. This can be more so. So it's a bit more winding. I think it's important to think about the shapes as well when you're drawing. Not just what you're drawing, but make it appealing to the public. Make it appealing for yourself though. You know? If we make it like this, let me think about it. Yeah, this looks good. And if I imagine how it would go, you know, in the background, it would be something like that, and you'd only see a little bit of the armor here. So that part would be outside. But it should have a bit of protection here as well. So yeah, let's think about, you know, he'll have something for the neck. Some armor that's like a bit of leather or something that would protect the neck. And now, if you think about it, right? Let's give a bit more form to the head. It's slightly bigger, yeah? And I want to put this thing on top. Yep, really wanna add it. Think about the middle part. Yeah, it's gonna be somewhere there. Let's make it a bit bigger than it looks like in the picture. It's a bit more extravagant, right? Yeah. And you got imagine the caterpillar having hair on top of its head. Got those. Yep, something like that. Just make it look nice, you know. Doesn't have to be realistic necessarily, but it's based on reality, you know. It should look nice above all else. There we have it. You know, sometimes it's better to have something that's original. I mean, we're not getting into the originality discussion regarding ideas and stuff like that, but have an idea that's interesting, that's creative. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you make it perfect, if you make it perfectly, if you follow all the rules, or you know, you have all the anatomy perfectly. It's important to have some ideas that have life into them, that when somebody sees what you've drawn, they just go, whoa, this makes me sad, or this makes me happy, or this or that, this sends me that emotion, you know. Have something that has life above all else. I think that's the most important thing. That's what makes people connect to what you'll be drawing. There we are. There we are with the leather patch. Okay, now for the armor. Let me think how this would go. Let me think. Why so serious? One of those sharp beards. Oh. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Serious. Well, I'm quite serious because I'm concentrating a lot. And yeah, it's serious stuff, you know. Art is serious stuff for me. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this tremendously, but I'm focused almost entirely on what I'm drawing, you know? That's the thing. I get into this this flow that's very hard to stop and to interrupt for me. That's why I'm constantly trying to look to the chat, you know, from time to time, see what you are writing down. And I really appreciate that you're commenting. Really appreciate that you're hanging around. It's really nice. So yeah, I will try to combine the two. I think it's a skill that I'm going to learn in time. But other than that, art is quite serious stuff for me. It's very enjoyable, and at the same time, it's serious. Taking it seriously. Okay, and now if we think about the armor, the big shapes of the armor, it would be something like that adds on top of each other, you know? Maybe like this. Yeah? And it just goes here where you don't have a hand, it would connect the part in the back. I think it's important to think about all those details. What would happen if, how to make it into something real, even though it's from imagination, even though it's something that's fantasy. A caterpillar Mongolian warrior was never seen around. But it's important to make it look real. That's what I think. And for the beard, yeah, let me think how could I add him up? How could I add a beard to him? I think this is the face. So we don't have photos of beards here, right? Now I'm gonna have this. But that's no. I thought that was a bit of a beard, but maybe this guy. Oh, this one. This one has what we want. Okay. Here we go. This is the pointy one. Yep. So it's gonna be exactly like that. It's gonna go around the the little claws or something, whatever you call them. It's gonna be, yeah, make it pretty long. That's what she said. That's what she said, jokes. Yep, the office never gets old. And here you can add the mustache. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, totally badass. Maybe go a bit like this. Yeah. Yep, that looks nice. Moving on. Have to redraw those arms like that, and this one like so. Yep. And more armor, you know, respecting following the rule that we set so far. The rule about going, you know, with two sides of plate like that, then connect to the back. I don't know where's the back, but I guess it's somewhere there. Anyway, you have something else here? Like behind? Nah, it's just No, there's nothing. Okay, that's fine. I won't go into too much detail, guys, okay? I'm just drawing the general shapes because I just want to have a little project that's done at the end of the day. Have something that we can all look at and say, this is the end of the first stream. There we go. Let me make this a bit more rounded. You know, I make it rounded because I think of it as going to the back, you know, following the body. That's why I make it round here. And another one just like that. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay. And now for the last part of the arms, let's think about those arms as being weapon arms, you know. Most definitely he will have to fight with those. So I think they will be turned towards the front. Something like this. Menacing little arms. And then you have those turned around. And the armor on top will follow exactly that. Exactly that arm, or the way it's pointing. That's what I want to see. Yep. And here you can only see a little bit of the armor, tiny bit. Okay. And now keeps going down here. There we are. And more to this side. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. And following the body, we'll have to think about the fact that the caterpillar wouldn't be able to move around if the armor would be on the belly, let's say, I don't know, on this side, you know, the bottom part. It won't be able to move. So it means that that part will be defenseless. And that's the weak spot. The weak spot of the warrior caterpillar. So yeah, here we can make something different. Now that I think about it, we can make something that's a bit like this part, you know? That tries to cover exactly the weakness. And it goes around. And something like that. It tries to cover exactly the weak part. Yep. Okay. So this is padded as well. It has some lines like this, or more rounded, I think. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, this looks pretty nice. And now on the back there is more of this armor. Yeah, I think give it all the armor in the world. Keep it safe. Imagine a battle between caterpillars and having this Mongolian army charge into battle, and then a bunch of other caterpillars that are shooting arrows, and some arrows are deflected by the armor on the back. That would be pretty epic. Yep. There we have it. And some bigger armor here and here. And some straps, you know, to make sure that the armor doesn't fall off. There we go. And now that we've gone through with that, have the caterpillar, we have the armor. I think we can go with the final design. Go with the final iteration by making this a bit lower opacity. Yeah, caterpillar horse. What could that be though? What's the right size for a caterpillar to ride? Can be a beetle, I guess. But what about butterflies? You would have like an army of flying Mongolian caterpillars that would destroy every enemy in sight. That makes me smile. Okay, and now in this last part, I'm simply figuring out some lines that I like, you know, not taking everything too seriously, but seriously enough. I just hope that I will be able to finish until 8 o'clock, as I promised you guys. Yeah, as you can see, I'm just trying to make some clean lines so that in the end we can look at the design in all its magnificence and we can enjoy a Mongolian warrior caterpillar. Here is the tail, the ponytail of our little caterpillar, which has some extra fur that goes all over the place. And now when we're drawing the beard, let me think about it. Yeah, I want to make it real nice, so that you can see that the claws are covering it. Something like that. Yeah. Epic beard for an epic caterpillar. This is pretty nice. And you can definitely tell that this one is a warrior that has seen many battles, you know. You don't give all this armor to a novice. You give it to someone you want to protect, someone you want to have alive at the end of the battle, so that they can do more battle for you. Definitely it's a veteran. A veteran that knows what it does. Okay. Here you will probably hear me undo quite a bit, because I want those lines to look nice. I want them to look exactly as I've planned. And that's why I tend to undo a lot in this side of the project. This will be more like a comics drawing, you know. It's not something like a painting. This will probably be left in black and white. Maybe I can add 1 or 2 colors. I would like, very much like, to learn how to paint directly those models, those designs, create them with the help of colors. I've seen people do it and it's amazing. That will be something that I'll work on. That's why I have the stream. That's why I will do this kind of stuff as well in my spare time, because it's something that's very relaxing. You do this for half an hour or an hour, get lost in it. Time doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, let's make for this hand I want to make a bow. I want to make a composite bow, like this one. If I think about it, let's see. So you got this shape, and then you got this shape, then it goes like this. Something like this. Yeah, I think I'm pretty close. Yeah, but it's very big. It's huge. Damn, this is huge. Again. Yep, like that. I don't like the fact that the upper part has a bigger curvature. So let me zoom out. Let me try to. Yeah, this is more like it. Hop. Yeah, like that. You know, all those sounds that you hear me making, this is what I would do when I would usually draw on my own, you know. It's pretty funny. I get very focused on this stuff, and I just try to make it right, you know. I try to get the right shape there. Okay, now we can connect it with a straight line. That's pretty straight. Connect it here at the bottom. And here we'll have the little claws. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show it holding the bow, just like that. Hey, nice. And now, adding the rest of the armor, we'll put an arrow in this hand. Hey, there we go. What time is it? Oh, we got 20 more minutes. Plenty of time. You got the little hand that's holding some arrows. Or one arrow. But how can it hold an arrow though? It would need a third finger, I think. Let's just leave it with two. Who cares? And yeah, make one of those. Make it look like, yeah, it's struggling to hold it, but probably can manage. There we are. Yep. Nah. It doesn't follow the line as it should. There we are. Yep, that looks better. Okay, and now continue with the armor. And what's left, which will be a bit of a challenge, is a weapon. Give it a weapon. Let's see what weapon. I've seen those curved swords that I really like. Maybe something like that. There we are. Or why just one weapon? Let's give it 4 weapons. It's a caterpillar, like it should be able to use multiple weapons, right? Okay. Then I will be giving it 4 swords. What's nice about this is I will be able to use this design if I want to someday, who knows. I got it wrong. Now I see. There we have it. Because I made a little hand there and there's no little hand here. So yeah, I will be able to use this if I want to, you know, draw it a bit better, add some details. I want for now for it to hold the weapon like this. Oh, no, 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 make it curved. Make it curved, I said. Yeah, just like this. Let's try it out. What's it look like? And here, yeah, you got the handle of the weapon. You got it going straight ahead, but then turning around. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's so small. Look at it, it's so small. Oh. Also, the bow should not be seen here. It should be behind the caterpillar. There we go. Yep, just like that. But this sword is so small. It's so funny. Hey caterpillar, your sword is so small. Don't get offended, but yeah. There we go. And now, oh, we forgot this one. It's got another hand over here. Yep. Let's see. What can we use in this one, in this hand? I'd like to make yeah, it's dagger sized, I think. Something like that. It's for emergencies only. Yep. Let's stick with that. Okay, let's imagine that it has a sword here. It's also like a dagger. But it's more straight, this one. It's for stabbing. And for the last two hands, I'll give it a bit of a bigger sword. Maybe in only one hand. This guy doesn't have a shield though, sadly. It cannot carry a shield with those little hands. You see, now we notice disadvantages of being a caterpillar and having to go to war. Your hands are too small to carry a two-handed weapon. That could mean your doom, you know. How would you get through the armor of a fire ant or something like that? Yeah, it's not the best warrior. It's a very tough warrior, the caterpillar. Looks like it could be a tank, you know? It could be something like a tank. If you're talking RPGs and stuff like that. Nope. Not yet. There we are. That's a bit better. You know, I'm searching for those lines. And that's part of the fun of drawing. Don't get it great from the first try, but with practice, of course, everything improves. And now let's make the big sword. Let's see if we can create it. Okay. We need the big handle. Something like that. No, it's round. Let's make it round. I think it looks better. Yep, like that. Imagine you see it from the top. And oh, we got a bot. Finally, we've been waiting for the bots. Let me see how I can report or something. Report? Nope. Don't think that did it, but hide user in this on this channel. Put user in timeout. Did that do it? But I don't want to timeout. I want to ban it for life. Hide user on this channel. Add moderator. Huh. Okay. The user's message will be hidden. Okay. Maybe that worked. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll have to remember to add some sort of defense, like a stream bot that does that automatically. So this one, my friends, is the weapon that we've all been waiting for. There you go. This is more like it. Yep. That's probably gonna cut through many things. Hey, thanks. Thanks for the nice words. Really appreciate it. And soon we will be done. We have 10 more minutes. Oh, I forgot. I forgot that I was doing something different with this part. The bottom part. Let's see. Yeah, something like that. I wanted to add like a little how do you call it? Like a skirt. But it's not a skirt, it's a battle skirt. Something like that. And goes around and around. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. Yeah, that's nice. And here I'll make it a little bit bigger so it shows a bit of form. Now I'm not paying that much attention to details here. I could get lost into details for hours and hours at an end. What's important is to make something, get something done, and afterwards enjoy the results, but also enjoy the process. There we are. This is the last part of the drawing. I'm already thinking of stuff that I could be adding on, you know, like the head of an ant or something here. I guess we can add that. It shouldn't be too difficult, like, you know, it's some sort of head that's been cut off. You know, you can imagine how it could look like. Yep, it has the antennas. Just for the atmosphere, correct? Show that this warrior can do some pretty bad damage to its enemies. And here we darken it. correct? Something like that. Let's keep going. There, almost. Oh, okay, got it. For the sound, I'll try to increase it from somewhere. Huh. I cannot see where from now, but oh, I closed it for 1 second. But I'll make sure to check it out in the future. Yeah. Keep a note about that. It's important to have good sound. And usually I'm talking a bit how do you call it? A bit quieter. Huh? Actually, I think we'll try to fix that at the end of the stream, so that the people who will be watching this, if there are any, won't be bothered by me stopping right now and checking the sound and everything. I'll just try fixing it soon. Hop. There we are. And now, making the bottom part with the little straps that go underneath. Now the legs, the big legs. Yep, something like that. Ooh. There we have it. And now this is the tree branch. This is as well. You see what I was talking about, being able to draw a line in any direction? Yeah. I don't want to rotate the canvas, and so I'm trying to do my best here. Yeah, and there you have some tree lines or something. I don't know. Whatever. There you have it. Yep, the Mongolian caterpillar warrior. The one that killed all the freaking insects, the fire ants, and everything in between. Yeah, so now if I'd have the time, I would stay and add some color, you know, and play around, add some lights, some shades, stuff like that. But for now, it's good enough. You can imagine this little guy being on top of a tree and fighting for his honor, for his life. Yep. And we'll leave it at that for now. Yep, let me close the reference. For references, I've used PureRef. PureRef is an app that I really love. It's really cool. You can add images from the internet to it. You can just drag and drop them, and you instantly create the canvas that you need for this kind of project. yeah, there we have it. And now, before ending the stream, I would like to check the sound a bit and see if there's something that I can change. Let's see. So the sound is to 100. The microphone appears to be set correctly. What I can change is bring the microphone closer to my face. So now you'll probably hear me a bit better. Maybe. Other than that, there should be something that I can do to increase the intensity of the sound. But if I cannot figure it out now, I think I will better figure it out outside of the stream. I'd like to thank you all for hanging around, for being here tonight, watching this little stream, and also thank you to everyone who will be watching this at a later time. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll be waiting for your comments or anything, and make sure to come along the next week if you like this one. We will be doing more practice, another little project, or who knows, maybe in the future I will continue on some of those projects that I've started already, doing the coloring and the shadows part and all of that. Other than that, thanks for being here.